Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for different time zone going through this video. Welcome to mathematics. Together you and me will discuss on different topics of mathematics. First, let us have a small introduction. My name is Sumit and personally I love mathematics. Okay, the way this video is designed, we'll have discussion or session in three different languages: English, Hindi and Bengali. To go to the video of your language, what you have to do is to replace the location where the language name is mentioned in name slash description with your choice of language, and that should be it. Also, some of the topics are pretty big, so it has been segregated into different parts, and the part number is also available in the name slash description so that it is easier for you to browse specific portion. I'll also try to accommodate more micro level information in the name or description so that it is easier for you to browse different subtopic. Okay, so let's jointly start our very interesting journey on mathematics. And today's topic will be on fraction and different types of fraction with example. So let us understand the definition of fraction. Fraction indicates one or more parts of a whole. Now the detailed explanation will be followed along with example. Now we know the definition of fraction. So fraction represents a part of a whole. So in plain and simple English, you have got a whole part. You divide it to equal parts. Now the portion of those equally divided parts can be represented as a fraction of the whole. So let me try you an example and let me try to explain this in a more simpler way. Consider you have got balls. There are different balls. It doesn't matter how many balls are there, but there are balls in the bucket. Now you divide these balls into four equal parts. So you now make four bucket have four balls. So very simple words I'll try to explain. Now see, I have divided the balls. Doesn't matter how many balls are there, but it is equally divided. Now, so the entire bucket we call it as a whole. Now this whole part is divided into four equal parts. If you see, one, two, three, and four equal parts. Now, if we want to designate or showcase or signify this part, we call it as one part out of four equal parts. That is one out of four. So now we want to showcase, or we want to explain, or we want to designate two parts out of four. So how do we do that? So it is two out of four. So we can also represent the same as two out of four. Now I want to showcase three. It will be 3 out of 4 equal parts, which can also be represented as 3 by 4. So this 3 by 4, this 1 by 4, this 2 by 4, these are all called fraction. Now let me try to give you another. Me and my friends went to some restaurant and planning to have a wonderful dinner with wonderful pizza, and we have ordered pizza. Now the pizza is served. This is smoky and hot. Let me draw the pizza for you. This is a pizza which has been served. Now no, we are, me and my friends are sitting there waiting for this pizza to be distributed. So what we requested, the executive in that restaurant, that if you could please distribute and make it 8 equal parts, whatever parts. So we thought that it will be comfortable for us to equally distribute among ourselves if we make it as 8 parts. So we requested to make 8 equal parts, which he did wonderfully. So let me make 8 parts out of it. So this is the whole pizza is divided into 8 equal parts. Now we have started consuming the pizza and we have consumed 3 equal parts out of 8 equal parts. So let me draw that for you. Give me a... So this is the left out pizza. 3 parts we have already consumed. So the consumed part will be 3 out of 8. So 3 equal parts has been consumed out of 8 equal parts. So we can represent that 3 by 8 of the pizza is consumed by me and my friends. The left out part equal to what will be? Can you guess that? Okay, yeah, you got the correct answer. It will be 5 out of 8. So this 3 by 8 which has been consumed and 5 by 8 which is still left out, that will be consumed subsequently. So this is a fraction. So the entire whole pizza we have divided into 8 parts, and out of 8 parts, 3 parts has been consumed. So we call it as 3 by 8 of the pizza we have already consumed, and the left out part, which is 5 out of 8 pizza, is still available to be consumed. So we can divide the pizza into any number of parts. It might be 11, it might be 12, and we can consume any number of parts out of those 11 equally divided full pizza. It can be 7 by 11, it can be 6 by 11, it can be 8 by 11, but whatever is, so the to designate a specific portion of the whole, we call it as a fraction. So here 3 by 8 is a fraction, 5 by 8 is a fraction. If you remember our earlier example which you have just discussed, 2 by 4 is a fraction, 1 by 2, 1 by 4 is a fraction, 3 by 4 is a fraction. All these are fraction. Now we'll discuss on denominator and numerator. Now in the fraction, there is a line and there is a number or numerical value above that line. Let us consider 5 is the numerical value. You remember from the pizza, we are still left out with 5 by 8. So 5 is the numerical value which is there above the line. There is another numerical value which is below the line. You remember from that example from pizza, 8 is the numerical value which is still left, which is below the line. Now 8, if you can remember, out of the full pizza which has been equally divided into 8 portions, and here we are designating 5 equally divided portions out of total 8 portions. So there are two numbers, one number which is above the line and second number which is below the line. The number that is above the line, we call it as numerator. The number that is below the line, we call it as denominator. This is important because going forward in our session, in our discussion, we'll be using very frequently these terms, numerator and denominator. So please kindly be comfortable with these words. Now, we'll discuss on like fraction. So we know the definition of like fraction. The fraction with the same denominator are called like fraction. Now, let us give an example. 7, 2 by 7, 3 by 7, 4 by 7, 6 by 7. If you see here, what is your numerator? Numerator is 2, 3, 4, 6. And what is your denominator? 7, 7, 7, 7. So denominator will signify as D. So and numerator as N. So these are all N. These are all N. These are all N. These are all N. This is D. This is D. This is D. This is D. So if you see here in all the fraction examples, the denominator are same. The numerators are different, but denominators are same. So all these type of fraction where denominator are same, we call it as like fraction. Like fraction we have discussed. Now consider a fraction 2 by 5. There is another fraction 3 by 8. There is another fraction 6 by 7. Here if you see, so here what is the denominator? This is the denominator. This is the denominator. This is the denominator. What is the numerator? This is the numerator. This is the numerator. This is the numerator. So here if you see, the denominators are different. Yeah, the numerators are also different, but denominators are different. So whatever the fraction, if you see, if you compare two fraction and if you see the denominators are different, you call both of them as unlike fraction. So 2 by 5 and 3 by 8 are unlike fraction. 3 by 8 and 6 by 7 are unlike fraction. 2 by 5 and 6 by 7 are unlike fractions. Now proper fraction. So we know the definition of proper fraction. The fraction with numerator less than its denominator are called proper fractions. So okay, so fine then. So normally again we'll come back to the example. So we'll talk about proper fraction. And we know we will signify your D with denominator and N as numerator. Okay, so let us take an example. 2 by 17. So this is a fraction, right? This is a normal fraction. So here 17 is your denominator, 2 is your numerator. So this is a proper fraction where your numerator is less than denominator. So perfect. So let me give you some more example of proper fraction. 5 by 13 is also a proper fraction. Its numerator is less than the denominator. Then 7 by 16 is also a proper fraction. Its numerator and this denominator. So numerator is less than denominator. So wherever the numerator is less than denominator, we call it as a proper fraction. Okay, improper fraction. The improper fraction where the numerator is greater than equal to its denominator is called the improper fraction. So that's the definition. Let us, excuse me, let's see improper fraction. So whatever the fraction that I'll give an example, the d will signify denominator and n is signify numerator. Let us understand a fraction 8 by 5. So this is how, this is a new type of fraction where whatever below this line we call it as a denominator, and whatever is above this line we call it as a numerator. If we land up into a situation where numerator is greater than denominator, we call it as an improper fraction. So 8 by 5 is an example of improper fraction. 95 by 16, here 95 is your numerator and 16 is your denominator. So numerator is greater than denominator. So here 95 by 16 is an improper fraction. So it is not necessarily that it has to be greater, it can be greater than equal to. So it can be 95 by 95. So here your numerator and denominator both are equal. This is also called as an improper fraction. So proper fraction will be where numerator will be less than denominator, and improper fraction will be where numerator is greater than equal to denominator. We'll talk about mixed fraction. We know the definition of mixed fraction. We have already gone through it. It is an improper fraction which is written as a combination of whole number and a proper fraction. It is called mixed fraction. So the improper fraction can also be represented with a whole number and proper fraction, that we call it as a mixed fraction. So let me first give an example and then we'll further discuss. Okay, so 5 2 by 8. Now this is a whole number and then we have got a fraction attached to it. So this part is your numerator, this part is your denominator. So when it can also be represented as an improper fraction. So how to convert mixed fraction to improper fraction and how to convert back improper fraction to mixed fraction, that will be a separate discussion topic, so it will also be available and you can search for it. But as of now, this is how you should know that when there is a whole number and there is a proper fraction. So this is a proper fraction, right? 2 by 8, because this numerator and this denominator and numerator is less than denominator. It's a proper fraction. And this is a whole number. Whole number. So whole number plus proper fraction is your mixed fraction. So 5 2 by 8. So this is your mixed fraction. So 3 1 by 59. Anything. So this is a proper fraction and then there is a whole number. So together it is mixed fraction. This is a mixed fraction. Now unit fraction. We know what is unit fraction. The definition of unit fraction is the fraction with 1 as a numerator. So let's first give you an example. So let me write a proper fraction. So here this is your numerator, this is your numerator, and this is your denominator, this is your denominator. So whenever we write numerator as 1, that we call it as a unit fraction. But this both of them are proper fraction, because your numerator is less than denominator. So in addition to proper fraction, this will also be known as unit fraction, where your numerator is 1. So unit fraction. Unit fraction. Wherever you have got a numerator as 1, it is known as a unit fraction.